Good evening, everybody. EV Daryl back with you. I wanted to make a video tonight in reference to some EV obstacles. I want you to know that I'm spoiled, okay? And I'm still new at this EV thing, okay? I've only had my car a year. So I consider myself late to the game. You know, when Tesla came out in 2012 with their Model S, I was like, wow, I can never afford a Model S, but I was like, wow, an electric car. I had a hybrid at the time, you know, partial gas, partial battery. Loved it, kept it for 250,000 miles almost, 242,000, I think. But I drive around now and maybe, I don't know, in the area where I'm at, Central Illinois, I doubt if it's 1% is electric cars. I rarely see an electric car on the road. I drive a lot of miles. If you see my Uber videos, if you see any of the videos, you know, in 1 year, just over 1 year, I've got 33,400 or something like that on the car now in just over a year. But I'll see a Model 3 now and then. I see some Model Ys now and then. But if you look, and sometimes if I'm driving and I'm in between passengers for Uber, I mean, you could sit around Peoria, Illinois, our, what do you want to call it, metropolitan area, and I could pull up to a stoplight that's got 35 cars at it, and you can look across okay, well, there's 35 cars, and I'm the only electric car. And then I could drive, sometimes I go hours without seeing an electric car. Then every now and then I'll be behind a Model Y or, you know, or Model 3 or a Kia, you know, or a Hyundai or an ID4. But they're rare around here. Now I realize other parts of the country are a highly EV community, but probably, I'm gonna guess 1% electric cars. But let me get back on task. Sometimes I go down the rabbit hole the wrong way. Tonight, I wanted to talk about me being spoiled. I have, as many of you know, a level 2 32 amp charger. It's not a charger. The charger is in the car. A plug in the garage that supplies 32 amps to the car, and then the car charges. It's an electric dryer plug. I've made that, abundantly clear in a lot of videos. And while I sleep, the car charges. It's ready to go at 80%, 90%, 100%, 32.5%, whatever I set it at 5:45 a.m. Boom. And over these last 14 months that I've had the car, I really have become spoiled. It's so convenient. I don't even give it a second thought. You don't go to the gas station. You don't have to worry about that. You don't, in the middle of the night, oh, I forgot to get gas. I got to take off in the morning. You don't worry about it. Come in, plug it in, you're done. But I have been, I've kind of gotten a rude awakening this last week and a half. At our condo complex, we're getting a new blacktop parking lot. It has been a capital project in the works. They've talked about it for years. They finally went ahead and said, you know what, we're going to get it done. They told us in the winter, we're going to get it done in the spring. Well, I wasn't thinking. So when they do a parking lot, my garage is attached to the parking lot. We enter through our garages into our condo complex. Well, the parking lot, when they first advised us this company was coming in, they said, on the first day, you're not gonna be able to park in your garages. We're going to have this machine that comes through and takes all the blacktop up. And then the following day, we're going to do a third of the parking lot. The third day, we'll do this portion. The fourth day, we'll do this portion. Then a day, basically by the fifth day, by Friday, you'll be back into your garage, but you got to be out. So in my mind, I thought, well, you know what? I will, they were going to start on a Monday. I will charge up, basically, I'm going to go to 100% Sunday night. We had that first week, a lot of things going on. We had a lot of stuff with the grandkids, a lot of stuff going on. I wasn't sure how much I was going to be doing Uber driving. So the first week I parked, away, wasn't able to charge other than Sunday night, but I had 100% for Monday. I went out, I did some Ubering during the week. I don't even remember which days it was, but very little Ubering because, sometimes when I Uber, I drive 100, 120 miles in a day. And then I come home in the evening and the next night I charge and what have you. But anyway, I came home on Monday from doing what we were doing, the running around, and I had used maybe, I don't know, a third of my battery, I didn't think anything of it. Then Tuesday we had a bunch of running we were doing. I was running around. Same thing on Tuesday. Well, on Tuesday, it rained last week. So we get an email advising us that they couldn't come on Tuesday and do anything. So they're going to come on Wednesday. Okay. So they came on Wednesday and did a portion. And then it rained on Thursday. And then they couldn't come on Thursday. And then that pushed that back to, I think it possibly rained. They only worked like 2.5 days in the whole week. Maybe got half the complex done. Then comes the weekend. And this whole time, this area is cordoned off. You cannot get into your garage to charge. So what I did, thinking outside the box, I had coordinated, we don't have a lot of level 3 chargers in the area. Really, very, very, very few. I did coordinate with a local dealership on one day to use their level 3. I stopped by for an hour, charged up, boom, all the way back to 93%, something like that. Then that's when I assumed last week one day that we were going to be done by the weekend. So one thing led to another. I get another email saying they're not going to be back on Thursday, I think, because of rain. They'll come back and work a little bit on Friday, and they did some work on Friday, and then they said, well, we'll be back on Monday and do some more. Then it kind of hits you, where am I going to charge? A level 2 charger, which is in my garage, I've got, I don't know, 12 or 15 of them in the area that are free that I could use. But I don't want to drive my car. I don't want to have my wife meet me there. It's not fair. Then leave my car for 6 hours somewhere, 5 hours to charge up. That is meant for if I run to Target or I run to McDonald's or I run to these different locations. If I'm there for an hour, or a library in East Peoria, Illinois, if I stop off there, I go into the library for an hour and I grab a free 25 or 30 miles. That's what that's for. So I'm not going to take my car and park it at one of these spots and then have my wife pick me up and, let's go back in 5 or 6 hours when it's fully charged. I'm not going to do that. That's just not me. So I have actually had limited driving. The parking lot is completed. This is the following week, Tuesday evening. They completed the parking lot on Monday, cordoned it off and said no driving on it on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we'll open that back up. So my assumption is it is done. Tomorrow, they will open this back up so that I can get my car back in the garage to my level 2 charger. But that opened up the whole thing. So I really went through kind of, I don't know what the term is. It wasn't range anxiety, but it really hit home the people who don't have chargers at their apartment complex, the people who don't have chargers at a condo complex, people who can't charge at their place. Maybe their electrical box wouldn't allow for a dryer plug, an extra dryer plug, and their box might be full, the electrical panel. So I feel for you. Also in Florida, at our condo in Florida, we have no charging at our condo. So if we were to take our car down there this next winter, um, I would need to locate. Now, there's a Walmart like, I don't know, 10 minutes from our condo that has Electrify America DC fast charging. Um, but there's a couple, 3 or 4 free chargers down by the harbor in Florida that I could go to for the day, but they're level 2 chargers. Again, long term, those are perfect for your garage. Not, unless you're going to go down, rent bicycles, spend the day at the harbor, which we could do, but that's a slow charge. So I gave it a little bit of thought last year when we were only down there a week or 10 days, I think. But when we took my Bolt to Florida, I had the ABCs always be charging down there. That's the term that a lot of people use on some of the channels. I hadn't given it a lot of thought, but I was like, I got to run down to the harbor, or I got to run here, or I got to find a place, or I got to go to Walmart, just the inconvenience. And it really hit home a little bit when I was in Florida. Well, now this last week and a half, it has really hit home. Like, I kind of just, it was out of mind, out of sight, out of mind. When you have a charger in your garage that you literally just plug in every other night, you don't think about it. When you wake up, oh, it's charged, it's done. Somebody took my car and went and got gas and filled it up for me. That was awesome, thank you. Week after week after week after week, it becomes second nature. So other than if I'm out and I need to take a break and I stop at Target or McDonald's and I plug in and grab a free 30 miles, or go to the library and read a little bit and grab a free 30 miles. I do that from time to time, but I don't have to do it. It's just if I'm there, I plug in. Now I'm these last 4 or 5 days, I've been thinking, well, I got to coordinate something because, there was 2 days that I could have driven for Uber a couple hours here and there. I didn't drive because I'm like, well, it's going to cut me kind of low. I don't have a lot of fast chargers around. So I just kind of wanted to make this video to let people know I'm still new at this EV thing. I mean, my brother-in-law, he told me last year, he's like, well, you're really an early adopter in this EV thing. And I was looking at it as, oh, I kind of thought I was late to the game. EVs have been out since 2012. I kind of thought I was 11 years late, even though I couldn't afford the expensive EVs. So I still think of myself as late to the game. A lot of people see me and they're like, oh boy, you're one of those people that newfangled thing that's out there, So I just want people to understand, I get it. I kind of hope, again, tomorrow they take all of the tape down and they open up the parking lot. I'd like to get back in my garage and get back to the nonchalant, forget about it, just plug it in, be done. But it's made me really appreciate even more. It's brought everything to light. That is an inconvenience. And there are a lot of people out there that say, I'd love to have an EV, but I live in an apartment and my apartment complex doesn't have charging. And my nearest charging, level 2 charging is what you need at your complex. That's just perfect. This, like I have the 32 amp that came with General Motors, that came with my car. That's perfect. It charges between 25 and 30 mile an hour. Whatever, 5 hours of charging during the night. I don't run my car down to 0. Usually I'm at 20% or 30% when I throw it on the charger, if that's 2 days or 3 days or whenever. And then I charge it to, I've been charging it to 90% since I've been driving for Uber. So if I'm going to add, you know, I don't know, 160 miles or something, or 180 miles, what's that take, 6 hours, something like that, you know. Sometimes I look out sometimes and the car's not charging and it'll be like midnight. And I'm like, what? It's got to be done by 5:45 a.m. So obviously it started after midnight. So depending on how much I need, I mean, maybe I was at 30% and I'm only going to get, I don't know, 120 miles. So, but on a side note, let me bring this up to you. I took my wife's van to the gas station yesterday, and I looked and I thought, wow, she's been averaging 23.8 miles per gallon when I got gas. And I'll add a quick, 10-second video or something in here that I took a video at the gas station, but it cost me $68.55 to fill up her van. Okay. I can't remember, somewhere around 18 gallons. I can't remember how much it was, but it was like gas started at $3.69.9. I have like a 5 cents a gallon discount because I'm a rewards member. So it was like $3.64.9 a gallon. And so it was $68.55 to fill up. And she had went 454 miles on that tank full. So, as some of you may know, I have a 65 kilowatt battery in my car. So the other day I took a quick video when I had driven 62, I had pushed out 62 kilowatts. And I had driven, I think it's 300, and it's in the video, I'll see it. It's like 303 miles, I think. I drove like 303 miles on 62 kilowatts. Because in my mind, I'm thinking when I did the battery degradation test, kind of like a hillbilly that I did, I think I may have lost a few kilowatts. So maybe I only have a 62 kilowatt battery left. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I still got 64. I don't know. Maybe I got 65. Who knows? Anyway, in my mind, I thought, well, I've driven 62. I've used 62 kilowatts to drive 303 miles. So doing simple math, half of that would be another 31 kilowatts. Okay, so if you went 300 miles on 62, you'd go 150 miles on 31 kilowatts. Okay, you with me? What I'm getting at is my wife's van got 23.8 miles per gallon. Cost me $68.55 to go 454 miles. If you spent 93 kilowatts, 62, 31, 93 kilowatts, you would go the same 454 miles. Okay? So if I didn't get any free charging, if I had to pay for the whole 454 miles at my 12 cents a kilowatt, that comes up to a grand total of, I think, $11.16 to go the same distance. Now, I like it when people say, well, that's apples to oranges. One's gas to one's electric to blah, blah. Okay. It's money, cash, dollars, cents. Okay. Yes, my wife's minivan is an 8-passenger full-size van, but she got almost 24 miles per gallon on that tank. Okay. So she did pretty well. And a lot of times we only get 21 or 22. So she must have driven some more highway miles. But I think the national average is only 28 miles per gallon on the average of all cars, is what I read in a, I don't know, now it's been a year or so ago that I read that in a magazine, that they were talking about all cars, from trucks getting horrible mileage and the big SUVs to Priuses and hybrids, and the average was like 28 miles per gallon. So this just tells you to go the same distance, $68.55 or $11.16. It's a no-brainer. Normally, there's just my wife and I that are in the vehicle. Sometimes there's a grandchild with us or two, but the Bolt holds, well, we put 3 of the grandkids in the back. We put 3 booster seats back there, plus my wife and I. So we can take 5 of us in there. It's just, and that's why we drive it a lot. And my wife still drives her van. She probably puts, I don't know, 12,000 miles a year on the van, the average, what an average person drives. But this is where I'm trying to get to the savings that some people don't understand. Anybody who's driving an EV understands how economical they are. Besides very little maintenance, you think of that. Every 454 miles, I'm trying to do quick math. What's that, about $57, $56, $57 savings in your pocket? And it kind of, and each time I go to the gas station with the van, I think, man, $65, $70, $75 to fill it up. And I've had a couple of commenters talk about the price of petrol across the pond, and shout out to you guys. I mean, it's like $8 a gallon or $8.25 a gallon or something. I think $3.64, $3.65 a gallon is horrible. I can't even imagine $8.25 a gallon or whatever. No wonder EV exception in Europe is like through the roof. In some of these countries, is like, well, yes. I mean, I am not paying $8.25 a gallon when I could plug in at my house and charge, dirt cheap. And I haven't even looked into, and I need to do it this year. Ameren, my electric company, really, if you'll do Power Smart pricing, which is every hour, it's a different price of the day. And you have an EV, overnight, they'll charge you like 2 cents a kilowatt, 2.5 cents a kilowatt, sometimes 3 cents a kilowatt. I'm paying 12 across the board. And I really haven't looked into it too much because during the, when the grid is being pressed at 5 in the evening, when dinner's being cooked and every appliance is going, I mean, Ameren might say, oh, now you're going to pay 18 cents a kilowatt or 19 cents a kilowatt, or, that would probably be way above my 12, maybe 14 cents. I don't know. But, don't do the laundry at 5 o'clock in the evening, and maybe don't kick on the dishwasher at 5, wait till later in the evening or whatever. And we haven't really looked into how much we would have to say, when we want to do dishes, we want to do them. When we want to do laundry, we want to do them. But if the savings, they're saying it would be about a 25% savings on my electric bill, I probably need to look into that. I mean, but already at 12 cents a kilowatt, it's cheap. Very, very cheap. So, yeah, I just kind of had that on my mind this evening. Both of those things, because I just filled up my wife's van yesterday, and we have been driving it a little bit more because of my parking lot issues, my lack of DC fast chargers in this area. And I get it. Like I told you earlier, do I see 1% electric vehicles on the road? Is it 0.5% around this area? I don't know. Well, then why would there be, 20 DC fast chargers if there's just not that many electric cars around? I get it. It's just when you have one and you need one and it's not there. So, other than that, please like and subscribe. I appreciate everything. The comments have been coming in strong. I've been a lot of views, a lot of new subscribers. very, very greatly appreciated. I'll keep up the content. I will, if you have something in mind you need, let me know. I'll try to get it done. I try to give information when people ask me. I give it in the comment section a lot. A lot of times people will ask me a question about something and I answer it there. But if I get a few of the same questions, that's when sometimes I'll make a video on it that helps clarify it. So other than that, everybody be safe and keep making good choices. Appreciate it.